I wanted to thank you all for coming and eating and enjoying yourselves. I know most all of you, one or two of you I don't know, so I'm Tom Miller, and I direct the speech and debate program, and I've done so for the last 40 years here at UCLA. Thank you all for coming. It's very special to me that you did come. I want to start by thanking, as you may know or you'll come to appreciate when I'm done talking, this is very much a group activity, and it takes a lot of people for it to happen. It's not me, it's not our team captain, it's not just one person, but it's a lot of people. And I want to acknowledge them. We had an extraordinary chairperson, Tim Groening, who really fought some good interference for us, and we're grateful for that. I wanted to thank the founding chairman of Comm Studies, Professor Paul Rosenthal, who 40 years ago gave a young punk with a dream a chance, and you know, here we are. I especially want to thank Jane Bitar, the department's CFO, who runs interference. Is really our good friend. And the person that takes the most grief for us is the person that handles our travel arrangements. Because our travel office and our travel regulations are challenging.
Include the food.
Yeah, include the food, yeah. And so I want to acknowledge, and I'd like her to stand up, Sylvia Marshall. And I also want to thank Casey McMurray, who graciously has donated our debate room that we all practice in, and she didn't have to do that and doesn't have to do it. And we, for those of you who don't know how difficult space is on this campus, it's really nice that someone has come through. And I'll tell you about Casey. When we had trouble finding a place for the Chinese debate, she tried to move heaven and earth to find us a room too, and you know, just a mensch, just a wonderful lady. Gosh, Amal and Bailey here did a great job organizing this thing. Thank you to them. We have the artist of this wonderful poster and other artwork that you see. This was done by Austin. Amisha Gadani?
Yeah, that's right.
This is Amisha. So she makes us look good, and she's helping us with our poster and our alumni effort along our, if you haven't visited Rolfe Hall lately, along where we have our national championship banners. Also want to acknowledge the donors that gave us some money this year. Professor Keith Fink, Dr. Brian Walkler, Scotty Abrams, Arthur Wang, Al Salehi, Royal Oaks, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, Mr. and Mrs. Hall, Willie Yu, and Frank and Judy Wolf. And their generosity made it possible for us to participate. So thank you to them. The next group of people that I want to thank and acknowledge are our judges. You debaters think, at least some of you do, that you wake up in the morning and there's a car waiting for you to go to a tournament. And you go, and it's just swell. And I'm glad that you have that illusion. The reality is that it's real tough every week for us to find judges to cover our commitment. And we have had a wonderful group of people. Some of them are here tonight, and so I want to name them really quickly. It's a long list, but would you judges just stand up for a moment and so we can give you a round of applause? Yes, that's you. That's you. That's you. If you see a Ned or Bridget or Carolyn or Cody or David, I mean, it's a real long list. Madison, Mike Walmsley judged for us this year. All these people we had to call and persuade to judge for you so you could debate. It wasn't an accident. It didn't happen with pixie dust. It happened with hard work, and I appreciate the judges coming forward and helping us. And we couldn't do it without them. So thank you, judges, very much. Now, the students I want to thank. I want to thank you. You're the reason we do this. And you've worked very hard. You've won numerous trophies, but you'll discover later in life the more important thing that happened was you developed your critical thinking and your confidence. You've made friends that are going to be lifelong friends. Some of you are going to marry. Where's David and Ron? Are they? Okay. All right. We've had many marriages from the debate team in the last 40 years, so it does happen. But I'm honored by the good work that you've done for the UCLA Debate Union this year. The season started off with a very interesting beginning. We went to Politicon, which was, I call it Comic-Con, but that was wrong. It was a political gathering of political types that wanted to further the aims of politics, and there Vishal and Austin competed against USC, beating USC, debating the question of Syrian refugees. So, round of applause for them. A very interesting thing happened at that tournament I wanted to share with you. Clay, anybody heard of him? Yeah, thank you.
Baseball players?
I thought I was the only one that hadn't heard of him.
Football or baseball?
Clay Aiken was one of the judges. And, one of the teams that was on the stage had the audacity to say, you have to vote for us because I was fourth at Worlds.
It's candid.
What?
It's candid from Laverne.
Shh, please stop. And you have to vote for us because I'm fourth in the world as a speaker. And everyone just kind of froze up, and it backfired on him. And the critics said afterwards, young man, you're a fine debater, and I appreciate, your accomplishments at Worlds, whatever that is. But I want to tell you, the minute you said that, you lost me. Your bragging lost me. And I just wasn't impressed. And so there was a really important lesson that I think that Austin and Shaw saw that evening there. We also met Frank Mankiewicz's son, who was a winner of this award in 1946.
Whoa.
and his son is on the Young Turks, if you've heard of that show. And so he carries on his father's tradition. Those of you that don't know who Frank Mankiewicz is, I'll tell you about him. He was head of the Peace Corps and so forth. So that was a good showing. Well, at the UCLA Invitational, Pratik and Sam were finalists. Yay. Also, in the fall, 3 of our debaters, Joe Kahn, Sam Brady, and Jared, partook in a mock presidential debate where these debaters imitated presidential candidates and debated for public information. And Jared was Trump, right? Yes. And we see now that Jared was very persuasive. Good job, Jared. So, but I like the fact that we were doing things other than just academic debates. We were doing things that in the debate community and on the campus as well. At fall champs, Austin and Joe placed first. Yay. And Chris and James were also finalists. So let's wait for that. In the winter quarter, we went back to one of our favorite tournaments, beautiful San Diego, for the Point Loma Invitational, where Austin and, well, I call him Aaron, but he goes by Arun too, were semi-finalists. We then hosted the Chinese debate team, where Joe, Vidya, Pratik, and Austin debated the entry of Syrian refugees into the United States. And that was a very controversial topic to take up. The event was a great success. You can see pictures of that there. We were very pleased to have an afterword by a member of our department, Professor Paul von Blum. So that was a wonderful campus activity that we engaged in, and the Chinese were very happy to get there. As you can see at the bottom, Austin giving them UCLA sweatshirts. They're going to be a hit back in China. At the Western Regional Championships at San Luis Obispo, Aaron placed 11th best speaker in the region. So let's hear it for Aaron. And at the Loyola Marymount tournament, UCLA again dominated with Aaron, Joe, Andy, Kim, Jared were all finalists at the tournament. Aaron and Andy tied for top speaker, and Mike Walmsley, who was here tonight, some of you met him, was the 3rd highest speaker. So that was good. And finally at Nationals, we were proud that Austin and Arun defeated, yes, top-notch teams from around the country. Yale and Brown, Vidya and Jared defeated George Washington. Madeline judged Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and Cornell, and was elevated to chairperson. A great honor for a freshman. And our own Aaron was ranked as 64th at the tournament. Very good. Now the coaching staff. It doesn't happen without a great coaching staff, and we have that. So first, special thanks to Ian Greer. He works for very little money. He gives 100%. Worked a whole year free. He gave up his eligibility 1 whole year to coach the team, and now he's been coaching for some pay. And he gave up his Tuesday and Thursday afternoons to help people that wanted to improve. And the drills and programs that he's brought to the program really enhanced the instruction of the program this year. So, Ian, you've been a great coach for us this year, and I speak for all the students in saying thank you very much. Our other coach, Shane Flanagan, I'll never get it right. Only known him 5 years, okay. Also a winner of the award that's going to be given tonight. Also worked for very little money and yet gave 100% effort because he has a job in the real world that he works full-time at, and yet he still comes out after working a 12-hour day and tries to help you folks grow and improve. He judged every tournament we went to, including Atlanta, and I thought that was a rather amazing feat. And for those of you that have been on the Com Studies website and know about all our debate modules and tapes, you can thank Shane for his efforts in organizing and putting that whole thing together and making it available to students so that they can learn from and get good ideas from watching other good students debate. So we say to you, Shane, your devotion to the students, the high standards you've set have been wonderful, and it's been a great year. Thank you. Now it's time to give out the award. 76 years ago, the captain of the debating team here at UCLA was a young man named George Oliver. He was a successful debater. He was in student government. He held every position. He was parliamentarian there. He held all kinds of duties and things on the campus. But when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor and so forth, he enlisted in the Army, where he rose to the level of captain. He was in combat all over Europe, and just 2 weeks before the end of the war, he stepped on a German landmine near the Ural River and was killed instantly. His family was devastated to lose their only son, if you can imagine that. After the funeral, and George's father established this memorial award in his son's name and left a small stipend to pay for a yearly trophy and for this reception.
Oh.
So parents and students might gather and celebrate the excellence of speech and debate at UCLA, and that each year we name the name of a distinguished debater who's added to the perpetual trophy. So that's been going on since 1946, when his father first named this award. Some of the people that have won the award, the first winner was Stephen Mueller, who? President of Johns Hopkins University for 35 years. Yeah, okay. Second winner, Frank Mankiewicz, president of NPR, press secretary to Robert F. Kennedy, head of the Peace Corps. University of Pennsylvania professor Harry Oblinsky, esteemed diplomat Frank Lloyd, a Com Studies professor, Paul Rosenthal, won this award in 1956. Recent winners have graduated from the Harvard and Yale law schools. So it's a distinguished group of people that have won the award over the years. Tonight I want to share with you the winner. First, the non-debate facts about this person. He grew up in Anaheim Hills, California. I guess there are hills in Anaheim. I didn't know that. I thought it was flat out there. Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
And graduated from Fairmont Preparatory Academy with a 4.4 GPA in the top 10% of his class. He was both a member of the Medical Magnet and the Engineering Magnet program, which prepares students for advanced STEM degrees. He took 7 AP courses and took advanced math courses at Cal State Fullerton to further his knowledge. He took 18 units up to differential equations at Cal State Fullerton, all while he was in high school. Ambitious young man. He was vice president of the Red Cross Club at the high school, played varsity tennis for 3 years, also a member of student government. He also had a distinguished career, a high school career in UNICEF. He was so esteemed that he was asked to speak at the National Conference of UNICEF, and he was awarded a Presidential Silver Medal for his service to UNICEF, which was very impressive. He was also an intern at the Boeing Analytical Chemistry Lab and helped design new methods for carbon sequestration using ceramics. His lab received a $200,000 grant for his project. He also has done public service in his community. He organized furniture drives so that families that are homeless will have some furniture to restart their lives with. So that's sort of his non-debate academic high school career. But he also did debate, starting in the 7th grade. He participated in John Meany, those of you that know John Meany from Claremont College. He participated in his league, and then he organized his school so that they could compete in a higher and better quality of competition. For those of you that know the high school circuit, he was successful and broke at the Tournament of Champions at Glenbrook North, etc., which are really prestigious and hard to break at tournaments. He was first speaker and top team at the final championship tournament and was awarded first speaker at the National ASU Invitational at the Public Forum debate. When he graduated from high school, he applied to 3 schools, USC, University of Chicago, and UCLA. He chose UCLA. Educational facts while at UCLA. He has maintained a 3.7 GPA and will graduate cum laude. Graduated cum laude. And this is a mouthful, but his major is microbiology, immunology, and molecular genetics major. Yes, and we have another gentleman that's waving his hand because that's his major too. Good for you. Okay, good. 4 years I'll be saying your name up here. Okay, good. He's worked as a lab technician in 2 of the most distinguished labs on campus, doing some really complicated lab work. And this is pretty atypical for the college debater to be wandering up in North Campus, right? We get a lot of poli-sci majors, people that want to go to law school, etc. We don't get a whole lot of South Campus majors, and when we do, they really have a tough time carrying the load and trying to debate and do all that kind of stuff. So, but he did it. Future plans. He's been accepted at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, where he'll attend in the fall. And he plans after that to get a dual graduate degree and medical degree and a JD degree. So I guess debate has bit him enough that he wants to stay with the law as well as medicine. So that's pretty good. As a competitor, he did well. He was semifinalist at SLO, won PSCFA Fall Champs, semifinalist at Point Loma, excellent speaker, excellent debater. But, you know, I think that my sense of this is that that doesn't quite capture the Austin KAIDI that I've come to know, and that's the Austin that I want to talk to you about, that I think is really more important and more special than the awards and the things that he put, or you put on your resume. And I think these are, I want to talk about some of the things that are going to go on his eulogy. If I might be so grim. Austin appeared to me last August and said, "I heard you were trying to raise an endowment. How can I help?" I said, "You sure you want to help?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm sure." And he helped. First off, we now, on our website, we have the George Oliver Award on the website, which lists all the winners and their pictures, and there's a link of all their accomplishments that was Austin's doing. We have the history of the directors of forensics going back to 1919. We have a picture of every debate team since 1920 on the web. We have a eulogy to Amanda Kelly Gilbert. We have the Distinguished Debate Alumni Award and the China versus UCLA debate on Syria link on our website. All of that was done by Austin. So all during the summer. It was a tremendous effort, and I'm very grateful for his help, because it wasn't necessarily going to make him a, quote, better debater. It wasn't going to win him necessarily rounds, but he did it anyway. Secondly, he took I had a chicken scrawl of an idea of how to raise $3 million, and he took my chicken scrawl and made it into 2 professionally impressive documents that one was our endowment design statement, the second was our needs statement. It took him hundreds of hours to prepare it and to typeset it and to lay it out. But the result was that when development saw these documents, they said it was the finest 2 documents they've ever seen. And I'm very proud to acknowledge that our afterward at the Syrian debate, Professor Paul von Blum has just arrived. Yay! So, he gave a whole lot of time during the summer writing letters of solicitation to alum and doing those sorts of things. But when he became captain, he did a lot of things that don't benefit you as a debater. And it takes a kind of a selfless person to be a debate team captain. It means you plan lessons. It means you schedule practices, you pair teams, you read news sources, you hold retreats at Big Bear to build team esprit de corps. You hold meetings at your apartment to help build team unity. And all of those things are you know, non-payable in terms of, did that make him a better debater? Probably not, but it made him a better person, I think. I want to share with you a couple of stories. One thing that I really liked about working with Austin this year was that he would always say, "Put me where you need me," and he volunteered to debate with a novice one time. He volunteered to debate with anyone, he said. Where you have an opening, put me. And he didn't mind if it was going to mean he wouldn't be competitive, he wasn't going to brag. He was just saying whatever the team needs, and that's a good quality in a person, and I really appreciated having somebody like that as a team captain. Secondly, as you know, transportation is dicey on this team, and Austin volunteered his Lincoln Town Car repeatedly to get 8 of you to tournaments numerous times. And, you know, all at his own expense, having to schlep down to Orange County to get the Lincoln Navigator, or whatever the hell it's called. Austin was very loyal to this program. He's loyal to me, which I appreciate. He helped identify shy debaters. We would talk for hours about who would make good combinations, how we could bring out the best in everybody, what people's shortcomings were, and how we could help them develop and grow. And I always felt that at any time of the day or night I could call Austin if I had a question or concern. He would listen to my concerns and give me very wise advice, and I was very grateful to have that this year. It's been a real pleasure to work with Austin KAIDI. So, even though he's going to be in London next year, he's agreed to assist the team from afar, however he can. So, it's been my pleasure to work with him over the past years. He's mature beyond his years. His life is inspiring to me, and I hope to other young men and women debaters. In the nearly 40 years that I've run the program, I've had 40 debate captains, yep. And Austin has been the finest, without question, just the finest. Because of his honest leadership, his hard work on the UCLA debate program, and the giant strides that we've made, we've really solidified some things this year. We've made some real groundbreaking efforts to put things together. We're on the verge of doing a lot of good things. And that's, if anything went right this year, just thank Austin. Because, you know, when everyone had a ride assignment in the car, when everyone had a hotel assignment, and everyone had a room assignment where there's compatibility and everything else, you can thank Austin for that. Because, you know, we sat up at night and agonized over those kinds of things, but it happened. So there's no suspense to this. I would just like to ask you to please join me in honoring the 2016 recipient of the George Oliver Jr. Memorial Award, Austin KAIDI. One for the photographer.
So, well, first of all, thank you, Professor Miller, for those kind words. But I think that we should give it all right back to Professor Miller, who, as many hours that I may have spent with him in his room, he is always there longer. He's done more nights than I've ever seen a professor give, just spending all night in his office, trying to organize rides, trying to organize his classes, while still making sure everyone has a good time. As much as this team may seem like it's just an easy ride and we just go to tournaments, it's really not in any way. And I think Professor Miller definitely knows that. It's a struggle getting every single judge there, getting every single hotel room, figuring out how to get the receipts to match with UCLA standards. And it's just, at no step is it easy. And Professor Miller has put up with it for 40 years, and he's made sure this program's been great for everyone. So really, if there's anything to be thankful for, that we have a team that's still going on, despite lack of funding in virtually every part of UCLA, it is Professor Miller. And for that reason, I think we need to give the biggest round of applause. Okay, well,
Now I'm speechless. So I hope there's still some food left, so enjoy each other.